Hey, this is a really unfortunate story. Anti-abortion activists have gathered outside of a clinic in upstate New York after a woman died following a late-term abortion, and conservatives are going nuts. And there's actually a lot to the story to talk about. Jennifer McKenna Moore-Belly was 33 weeks pregnant, died after undergoing an abortion at a clinic in Germantown, Maryland. And this, of course, is not the protest is in upstate New York. This happened in Maryland. And 150 pro-life demonstrators gathered near the clinic calling for it to be shut down. And the problem I have there's a number of problems I have with this. This morning, actually, I happened to be listening to the Howard Stern show, and somebody involved with one of these clinics said, the problem is that there are underlying conditions in some percentage of women where if they give birth, they will die, and it's not known ahead of time. And along those same lines, if they have medical procedures, they also could die because of underlying medical conditions. And this happens.
Was that one of those cases?
The individual indicated that it was, and we don't know. It's not part of the official record. But what I really am getting at here is that these supposed pro-life protesters, really anti-choice protesters, they see this one incident and they say we should close all abortion clinics now. But the same logic is never applied to guns, right? No matter how many deaths happen with guns, no matter how absurd the gun deaths are, we should not touch gun policy. We should not restrict people's rights to own guns, to acquire guns, to sell guns, et cetera, et cetera. One of these incidents, an abortion should be illegal, all the clinics should be shut down, seeking government solutions. But government involvement with guns doesn't make sense. It's the epitome of hypocrisy.
Well, it just doesn't have that religious component. And of course, there is also not an amendment that deals strictly with abortion, right?
Well, yes, that's true. Natan, what's your reaction? I mean, will they ever understand this hypocrisy? I don't think so.
I think the issue is religion. I mean, that's what it's really about. I mean, there's no reason why a reasonable person can't say that he or she is against an abortion. They wouldn't recommend anyone they know get an abortion. They wouldn't get one for themselves if it's a woman. But the decision shouldn't be left to anyone but the woman and the doctor. They don't get it because they think that it's a sin for an abortion to be performed, so they don't want to legally sanction it.
Do you agree with that the religion is the X factor here?
I think that's the biggest factor, yeah.
I wish people would just think more logically about these things, and I've had conversations on air, and also, although I try to avoid ever talking politics with people off air, I've had some conversations off air with people who come from these dogmatic kind of religious viewpoints for political issues. You can't really have a logical conversation. I mean, on the air we do it because it's kind of part of the show and showing that these opinions exist. But it's completely it's the opposite of fruitful. I mean, it's pointless essentially.
Of course, when you base everything, all of your conclusions on a fictional novel that's completely open to interpretation.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you talk to that person?
I don't know. I guess you can't.
No.
Do you choose not to?
Usually, yeah.